Hello, everyone. I'm Matthew Thomas, Super Cool Radio, and I have a very good friend of the show with me right now. He is Canadian session bassist Ronnie Robson, and he has worked with music legends like Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath, White Snake, Michael Schenker Group, and was most recently with the Hollywood Monsters. Thank you so much for hanging out with me.
Thank you, Matthew. Look, there's going to be applause now. Wow. Yeah.
Might have to add that in.
Well, you know what? It's nice to be back. It's always nice to be interviewed with you, Matthew, for sure.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. You were very fun last time. I got a lot of great response from people and like people talking to me, and it was a lot of fun. So I'm glad we're able to do it again. Part 2.
Me too. Number 2. Here we go. I'm
And
in.
kicking off the brand new year. This is our 3rd interview now for season 2 with Ronnie Robson.
Nice. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy 2/21.
That's right. And hopefully 2021 is not just 2020 in disguise. I don't want that.
Oh, totally. Everyone be good. Everyone do what they're supposed to do, and let's open things back up again.
Amen. So last time I talked with you, last year you officially retired from your job. So how are you enjoying retirement?
You know what? I'm really enjoying a retirement. The only thing that I'm not enjoying is with retirement, I figured, a little more travel, a little more touring, a little more, visiting friends and things like that. But now I'm stuck at home. Now I'm like, okay, and knowing that I'm stuck at home, I'm going, wait a minute, hold on here. I've kind of had a year to prepare for everything, to get things going. So that's what I've been doing. But you know what? I really miss getting out. I really miss traveling. I really miss touring. I miss everyone. And I think that's the thing. Not that I don't love my family, because I do, but I'm seeing them every day. And they're the only ones I'm seeing every day, besides, on the internet, and besides, yelling across the street and stuff like that. So I'm missing it. But you know what? Retirement is great. I'm gearing up for, the world to open up again. So that's what I'm doing. I'm planning and I'm going full tilt on it. So I've been busy, but, I do miss getting out. And that's where the stuck thing comes in, because I really want to just go. I'm like a 12-year-old kid with ADHD, like I just want to go all the time. So yeah, but retirement, man, fantastic. 55, another couple months. Well, next month I'll be 56, and I still feel 20 years old. So I'm good.
Oh, well, all right. Yeah, I know the one thing that like I really I guess re-enjoyed, or like actually I found enjoyment out of, was going for walks. Like during like when the everything shut down, I would like walk around in my neighborhood for a little bit just to get outside for a little bit, and just rediscovering just like walking outside from like there's a time where you really shouldn't leave your house. I remember like when we first got shut down here, like you weren't really supposed to leave, but like when they started lifting stuff, I was able to walk outside. It was actually nice to actually go for walks. Now, like I really enjoy walking outside. I never really enjoyed it till 2020.
Well, you know what? It's funny because I live in an area, I've got like a block away from me, I have a lake, and there's like nice little trail around the lake. And then up here, I've got like a dog park, and I've got a park across the street from me. Like I try to get out as much as possible, but I'm not even seeing people. In the morning and during the day, I'm not seeing people. Like I'm talking to ducks,
Did you have riveting conversations with them?
Well, they don't answer me back. It's when they answer me back, I know there's going to be a problem, right? But yeah, no, I try to get out for walks too. And it's funny because I actually went to the doctor the other day, and I was so happy to get out of the house and just be around. And there was me and another person in a doctor's office with the secretary. And I was just like, wow, this is great. It's like, I'm out of the house. Yes, I did it. This is fantastic.
I get to go to the doctor.
Yeah, I got to go to the doctor. Next thing you know, hopefully soon, the dentist. That'd be great. And a haircut too. I need a trim.
Yeah, I was
But
able to get a haircut recently today, which I mean, it was pretty nice. Like I made an appointment online. There was no one else. There was like one other person in the salon, and it was nice. It was like,
was it?
yeah, it was socially distant. Like everything was, how they were following the guidelines, and I was like, I really appreciate that.
Yeah, no. And you know what? Everywhere I go, like sometimes, I go to the grocery store, I pick up, everybody knows that I cook, right? So I'm at the grocery store and everyone is so cool and everyone follows the little arrows and I really haven't had any problems with or witnessed any problems with people in Toronto myself, and I mean, it is so cool. It really is.
Yeah, you're talking about making food. I did see a post earlier today. What were you making earlier today?
Oh, I was making chicken wings, but they're like an Asian version of the chicken wings, and I was trying out my new deep fryer. So
How
yeah,
did that go?
that went really really
You still have
well.
a house, so it didn't burn down.
It didn't burn down. No, you know what? It's got all kinds of safeguards. It's really really cool. It's a fryer from DeLonghi. They make good appliances. But no, it was really really good. I made two different types of sauces with them, and veggies with dip and stuff like that, and it was really good. In fact, before I get a picture, everyone got in there, so it was like, okay, I'm glad I got a picture of them ready to go in the fryer. It happens in my house. This happens. What can I tell you?
I was they sound really good. So like if I was
Mhm.
there, I probably would have stole some too before you got a picture. So
Oh yeah. Well, that's cool. That's what usually people do anyway. Very rarely can I, like I won't call people for dinner. I'll take a picture of the food first, and then I'll call everybody. Like I'll slice, I'll do whatever, I'll plate, and away I go. But I'm going to do more of that too, Matthew. Definitely,
yeah,
definitely.
cooking is really like taking your time and like cooking something right. Like that is like a whole nother feeling like of doing something right.
Yeah. And with me, it's also I love to eat, but to me, it's like I love to make other people happy. And part of that is with food, and it's always something, maybe probably something I picked up from my mom because she was a really great cook, but it's just something I enjoy to do. And somebody, sits down and they, all of a sudden the conversation stops because they're too busy eating. That's a good sign.
Yes, that's a very good sign, right? For like Thanksgiving dinner and stuff, my grandma would always make like just an amazing, just a whole spread. You had turkey and stuffing and like two different kinds of like sweet potatoes and actual like mashed potatoes. Like, and she made
Yeah.
really good sweet potatoes too. Like, it was like food when you're just focusing on eating instead of talking, the best.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And when people say to you, can't talk, I'm eating, that's even better.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Oh yeah. Then now see, I just ate dinner, but now I'm getting hungry again. So
How are you? I'll ship
I
you down some wings. Toronto to Indiana, for
yeah,
sure.
I'm sure they'll still be fresh.
I think so. I think so.
With the mail service, it'll probably only take about 4 weeks. But that's all right.
Oh, jeez. It's Sunday today, and I saw a postal truck go by my house today.
Oh,
It was
really?
like, holy cow, they're working on Sundays now, like Saturdays and Sundays and weekends. It's like, okay, this is good.
You got to get all those Amazon orders to you.
Well, exactly. I ordered actually more today, so we're good.
That's why. But and also during our last interview, you were talking about starting your own website. How's that going?
It's almost ready to be. What I was waiting for was I'm going to be in the publication. We talked about this before, Titans of Bass,
Yep.
and 140 great bass players. They asked me to be a part of it. They interviewed me for it, and I was waiting for that because I figured, you know what, it'd be kind of cool to get the podcast done and get information for the book. And I think they had two publishers. They put it down to one publisher, and it's supposed to be out in February. So I'm just holding off. I really like that book to be part of the main homepage, besides the biography and stuff like that. So that'll just be as soon as the book comes out, I'll just add the link and click publish to the site. And then what I'll do is I'll put it on Facebook and Instagram that the site's there, and then they can listen to the first podcast too. The first podcast is pretty cool. So definitely.
And what is the first podcast about?
Podcast is about what it is about. It's called the Rhythm Section Rockcast, the Rhythm Section Bass and Drums, right? So what I plan to do is have a lot of, and I'm working on some great musicians right now to come in and guest. All bass and drums, everything you do about bass and drums, rhythm section. So the first one is basically about how I developed going into bass, going into that from, A to whatever, where I am at now, and what songs that were, or what albums that inspired me to play bass. And it was amazing because there was 5 albums that I bought in one day. And each one of those albums kind of steered me toward, playing the bass. And I mean, there's others after, apparently, obviously, but it was those 5 albums. And as I said, I bought them all on one day. And, jamming with different people. I had good friends that I was jamming with, and we'd switch up instruments. And I found that, with certain drummers, I was better on bass than I was guitar. There was kind of a better groove going on. And I'm thinking, would I be more of an asset playing bass than I would guitar or keys or drums at this point? So that's what the first one is about. And it's got a kind of a cool story and a cool soundtrack to it. And then second one is pretty cool. I'm not going to mention the second one now because we'll do something on that later.
Okay.
But second and third, amazing. I've got some great guests lined up. I've got things happening, which is cool.
I'm really looking forward to it. Sounds like you got a lot of cool stuff. And when your website is up, everyone check it out. Hopefully in February, when also it is featured in the book as well. So check that out when everything is up and available because it is worth it.
Yeah, thank you, Matthew. It's going to be RonnieRobson.com anyway. So I'll let everybody know.
Of course. Hopefully it's coming up very soon. It's already almost mid-January. Almost.
Oh, yeah, it's close. It's close.
It's coming up. So yeah. Also, what I like about mid-January means winter's a little over halfway done, and I love it because I don't like winter.
Yeah, I can't wait for winter to be over. I can't wait for spring. I've already got plans for the backyard and the front yard and planning and doing all kinds of stuff. Definitely. It's like all I'm doing is shoveling snow. In fact, you know what I do, Matthew? It snows in Toronto. I'm out there in flip-flops and shorts. You know what I mean? My morning coffee, and I'm shoveling snow. My neighbors look at me and they just shake their head. They're in winter boots and a big, coat and stuff. I'm in flip-flops. Yeah. I'm trained.
All right. I wear shorts in wintertime if I'm not out for too long. I would not wear flip-flops. Like that, yeah. I'm good. I don't want to lose a toe. I'm good.
Well, it's always the shovel goes ahead of me anyway. So I'm thinking, okay, I can go out with flip-flops. And what I'll do is I'll come back in, I'll grab another coffee, I'll warm up a little bit, and then I'll go back outside.
All right.
Forever in flip-flops, Ronnie Robson.
That sounds like a good title to a book.
Exactly.
If you ever write an autobiography, actually, you should put that as the title.
I will. Ronnie Robson, flip-flops, beach and snow. Doesn't matter. Here he goes.
I'll buy that right now. Print it.
There you go. Right on, Matthew.
You're a session bassist, which most of your work is done at your house. I believe your studio is actually right behind you, I believe.
Yep.
Yes, it is.
It is.
What's kind of your setup? Like, what kind of equipment do you use?
Well, you know what? I record, like my computer, I got two 32-inch monitors behind me, KRK8 speakers, the old school, first generation. I'm on Windows setup still. Excuse me. My interface, when I record, I can do 12 channels, which I record, bass with one. But if I'm recording drums, I can do 12 channels. And it's a really great interface, Mackie 1220i. And running Pro Tools. I've been running Pro Tools since day one. in plugins, Mark Bass is like my go-to plugin. Depending on what anybody wants, what I'll do is I'll record something dry, and then I'll give them a couple of different examples, like an MPEG sound or a Mark Bass sound. Very little compression, high on bass, high on treble, less on mids, and I just go, and I edit film out of here too, which is fantastic. So it's a pretty good setup. It's, like I said, it's right in my living room. I love it. I vacuum the house and then I think, let me try this, or let me do this, or let me try a drum part, or, a bass part. And I do it. I love working from home. It's fantastic.
That's right. And you don't have to wear pants if you're working at home.
Exactly. And I don't wear pants at home, right?
From the last interview, I already know.
I don't even wear pants when I open up the door. Are you kidding?
Whoa.
The FedEx guy, I know, he rings, then he'll walk away. The mail guy, Canada Post, he rings and he just goes, like, I know that. But anybody else, I'm thinking, okay, what do they want? So that's when I open up the door. I'm in my underwear and shorts and flip-flops.
Have to have the flip-flops.
Exactly.
And so what kind of bass do you use? What's do you have like a preferred bass you use? Do you have multiple basses that you like to use? Like what do you have?
This one right here I'm playing all the time. It's a Fender Aerodyne Jazz. This one's from Mexico. That is my go-to bass. I call Elizabeth after my mom, my late mom. But this one is, and it's all stock. I didn't change anything at all. Upstairs, I keep my bass in a certain room. I keep certain guitars in a spare bedroom because I really like the humidity of the room. But I've got a few Warwicks, 5-string, 4-string, and a 4-string fretless, and I have another jazz bass, an older jazz bass, and I have an Epiphone acoustic bass that I just really love. In fact, I posted a picture of it the other day. I just put new strings on it and did a little bit of work on it myself. I didn't call my tech to do anything. I know he's busy. And so I did the work myself, and I sat there I was like 5 hours playing this bass. And it's an Epiphone. I think it's called an El Capitano or something like that. It's fantastic. So that's the acoustic bass. And then I have another little bass that I play, a U bass. And those are the basses in the house. And plus I have a few other guitars. I have a Strat and stuff too. So.
Yeah. I never heard of acoustic bass, actually. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, no, it's cool. And it's an electric, like I can plug it in. And I've got certain, I've saved certain things for like plugins for different sounds that I like and I really, really dig. And it's really cool. Like I love that bass. As I said, probably the best, I don't know, it was like $600 or 450. I can't remember now. But that's probably the best money I ever spent on a bass was that one. And the older it gets, it seems like the better it sounds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like a fine wine.
Exactly. You know it. But yeah, I'm gonna do more with that too. Like I really dug it the other day, and I've changed back like from nylon strings to steel strings to this to that. And I got a set of D'Addario, which is normally what I use, the brand that I use, D'Addario strings. And I put a set on, and it was like played around half an hour, bang, started working on the bass a little bit, came back, and beautiful. Absolutely. Those are the string gauges I'm using from now on. Definitely.
And like, I never asked anyone this about strings and stuff, but so what's like the difference between like nylon and string, and like how did you find like the strings you really like to use?
Well, there's different gauges. What I normally on like a 4-string, like this one here, I'll use the D'Addario like 95 to or 85 to 105s for that. It's kind of like a medium gauge. I kind of like when I'm recording, I try to I want treble to it because you can always add You can always add bass and mid, but once if you're recording without, you know, like so much treble, and you want something a little brighter, it's always more difficult to bring that up to get that. So I always like recording with lighter strings or medium gauge strings. And when I record, I usually add a lot of treble because you can always bring that back down, but you can't bring it back up again, or there's a limitation to it, you know? So nylon strings for certain instruments sound really cool. Like my little U bass, you know, it's like this long. It sounds like a big upright bass, you know, with the nylon strings to it. It sounds really thumpy and really, really, really cool. With nylon strings with my acoustic bass, I just found it was too thumpy. Like I can get that from the U bass. Let me go back to medium, you know, to a steel string, like a flat wound for that. There's round wounds, there's flat rounds, there's all kinds of different strings. But I definitely found my, you know, my string maker who I want to, you know, buy from all the time or receive from all the time, and that's D'Addario for sure. Definitely great strings, bright, they last forever. And these ones are nickel, and again, bright, ready to go.
Actually, yeah, I never really talked to them. I've talked to a lot of people, but I never really talked to them about like strings and stuff, actually getting technical with their equipment. And that, I mean, it's really cool. Like, I don't really know too much about guitars and bass and strings and stuff. So, I mean, it's really cool just to chat with somebody about it. Like, you know, you got the nylon, you got the string, you got a bunch of different stuff, and it creates different sounds based on what you use.
Well, see, you know what? It's funny because I never think about it to talk about it. You know, really, like I don't. I just, you know, like I talk to different people and, you know, different things. Oh, why don't you try these? I love these. Here, come over to my house and check this out. And, you know, excuse me. In fact, these strings, Glenn Drover, ex Megadeth Testament, King Diamond, he was over at my house and he's had a set of bass strings. He goes, check. Like I said to him, I said, we were recording together, and I said, you know, I'm gonna change strings for this tune. So I'm gonna, you know, tomorrow I'll go out to the store tonight and get them before they close, and then. And he says, he goes, so come over. He goes, I got a set of these D'Addarios. I like them so much, you know what I mean? And next thing you know, I've got like a 10 pack or whatever that I went and bought. I had to order them, but I got them. But it was Glenn Drover who said, check these out. These are great strings. I was using another brand. I was using Dean Markley before, and I just found that even the same gauge in nickel, they weren't lasting as long. So I put these strings through the ringer, right? Like I played that guitar constantly for a month, and man, they were still bright. Most of the first Hollander album was these strings, definitely.
And yep. So you guess like to someone who knows their equipment, like that's the person. Like if he says those are the strings you use, like you know that's true.
Yeah, yeah. And it was great because I said to him, nah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You know, thanks. But, you know, I appreciate it. But, you know, and he goes, no, try these. So it's good. And he was using I don't know what he's using now, but he was using D Markley guitar strings for forever. So, and I think he still endorses them. So it's good.
Yeah, for sure. And so like when you record or like you prepare to record, is there anything like in particular you do before you record, anything special you do, or do you just kind of sit down and hammer it out?
Well, it really depends on the song, how I get a song to Matthew. I mean, if I get a song, like if somebody sends me a song, it's okay, we need, you know, bass tracks for this. You know, I'll listen to the vocal, like if there's vocals to it, I'll listen to there's a lead guitar to it. If there's not, I'll ask him, is there a lead guitar to it or you know, a vocal to it? And if not, what I'll do is I'll run through it. I'll ask them, what are you basically looking for? What sound do you who's the player that, you know, you would like emulated, right? So we'll talk, you know, like technical stuff, and then we'll talk the style and things like that. Communication is always key, especially now, being a session player with session players, dealing with people from all around the world. You're always, doing what we're doing now. We're Skyping, we're Zooming, we're doing what we do. Sometimes they'll say, everything's done. I'm just sending you the basic track. And I'll say, okay, well, do me a favor. Send the basic track back to me with the kick drum a little higher and the snare a little higher, and give me a track of the vocals and give me another track of the lead. So this way, what I can do is figure out the song to begin with, and with the bass and the kick drum and the snare being a little higher, I'm on the money a little bit faster because that's what I'm following, right, as a part of a rhythm section. But with that, now if there's a chorus, if something's going on with the vocal in the chorus, or something's going on that's cool, with the guitar in the chorus or a bridge or whatever, I can put those in and out, and then all of a sudden they're a lot happier because now I'm, instead of just the basic thing, now I've emulated, like maybe keyboards or the vocals or the lead guitar. I put in, lead guitar may scream up and I may scream up with them and do a little couple notes and then back down, handling the rhythm section again, right? But and then with that too is what I'll do is I'll track it. I'll give a basic, with no compression, no nothing, and then I'll give them ideas of different sounds too. And if there's something that they want me to redo, I always appreciate that because they're saying, hey, Ronnie, can you do this in the chorus, or can you do this in the bridge, or can you do, whatever. And I'm like, cool, I'm down. Let's do it. It's your vision. Let's go.
Yeah, and like knowing the song is very important because anyone could just play bass just normally, but knowing the song and how the feel is, how the vibes are, like that's very important, especially knowing drums when you're a bass player, very important as well.
Oh yeah. And you know what, Matthew, I've had simple bed track come to me, bass, drums, guitar, right? They say, well, can you redo the bass? Yeah. So now I got the basics done, but I tell, whoever I'm working with, hey, when you put the vocal track on, send it back to me because I may redo this. Or, same thing with the lead guitar. I may get a track back and say, no, I'm doing this little section of where the lead is, or a different ending, or whatever the case may be. I always leave it open, but I always like to hear a song. In fact, I always like to be the last guy in. That's what I like, And, again, communication is key. What are you looking for? What kind of sound are you looking for? And then I strive to do my best.
That's all you can do is your best. But communication is very important, especially now. Like almost everything is done digitally, especially from this last year into this year now. Like I think 100% is done digitally now.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, it's amazing. I mean, people that walk into studios. I miss that. I miss like recording off the floor with people. I miss being in the room with people because magic happens when you're in a room and you are. You're rehearsing, you're getting things, even before recording, you could have one rehearsal, walk into a recording studio and start jamming, the engineer is setting things up and getting, basic sound together. And it's just the eye contact, the feeling, the smiles, that's something I really, really miss. I really, really do. It's like playing live. I miss that too. And audience is fantastic. Like I love playing in front of an audience, but I miss the camaraderie with the band, looking over, when someone it's their strong point or their weak point of that song, and you look over to make sure they're going to do it, or in amazement that I wonder if they're going to try to top that, that what we did the last time, right? So that's something, Matthew, that I really do miss. And that's what I'm saying about being stuck at home. Stuck because this is really what I want to be doing right now. Besides, recording, that's fantastic. I love that. Recording, cooking, cleaning the house, going out for a walk, talking to ducks, and then back again. Yeah.
That is the life of Ronnie Robson, people.
That is, and flip flops.
Yes.
And no pants. Definitely.
That is Ronnie's life in a nutshell, people.
Right. It is now. Look out. You never know what's going to happen.
Always unpredictable. It's even more unpredictable when you're not wearing pants.
Well, I'm wearing pants tonight.
Oh, that's good.
I'm wearing pants tonight. I am. I've got socks on too, believe it or not.
What?
I got socks. I know.
You're living on the edge
It's
now.
weird. I know. I know. It's like, I'm like I got company coming over or something, It's like weird.
Yeah. All right, well, I got a very interesting question for you because we're talking about bassists and recording and stuff. So, other than yourself, top 3 favorite bassists?
Top 3 bassists other than myself.
Yes.
Well, I'm kind of okay. John Paul Jones, Led Zeppelin.
Oh, yes.
He's a monster. In fact, I talk about him in my first podcast. And I talk about Celebration Day. I talk about the tune Celebration Day from Song Remains the Same. About how I even to this day approach a song like he played with that. I will, rhythm and, everything else goes along with it. John Paul Jones, number 1 in my books. I love Flea, Red Hot Chili Peppers. Dude is he's all over the place. Not so much, like slap playing or anything like that, but it seems that everywhere he goes on the neck is just beautiful. Like it really works with whatever he's doing, whatever the song requires. It's,
Yeah, he has
fantastic. I love Flea.
He has almost like a funk soul kind of approach to it, infused with rock music. And he also doesn't wear pants.
Yeah. I don't think so. No, he wears a sock.
That is,
man.
That
you
is
know what? You know what's funny? I was watching something with Red Hot Chili Peppers the other day, and I remember one of my first bands, Prophecy, where they wanted us to play a gig. It was an hour and a half, right? And they wanted us to headline. And I said to the guys, we got to take this gig. It was a Toronto gig, right? It was a local gig. And I said, we got to take this gig. It's got the Gasworks, right? We got to do it, man. It's like, come on. We got to get out there. And they said, well, we only have 70 minutes worth of material, even if we try to stretch it. And I said, we go out and jam. Just like the Chili Peppers, they'll go out and they'll throw, Flea will start throwing down a groove, and then whoever, John Frusciante or whoever is playing guitar will go in and start, and then drums will start, or, drums and then guitar will start. And we used to do that way back when, we used to do that, man, in the 80s. It was, and I said, we can burn a lot of time, and then mid-show, maybe, and I'm looking through the set list, after this, we can do that then. Let's, everyone's going to love it. It's original content. Let's go. So the other day I saw that on YouTube, and I cranked it on my TV, my smart TV, and I was watching it, cranked up the surround sound and went, yes, this is what you do. I can't handle bands when they come out and they play this song and then this song and then this song. Hi, how are you? Very nice to see you. Indianapolis. And then, and then good night, Indiana. I don't know. I was never for that at all. So Flea, yes. Great showman. And better backup vocalist than I am too. So there you go.
There's something about jamming that it's just like magic, because you're just creating stuff on the spot. It's not really planned. We have, we'll go in and jam, and it's just kind of improvised. We're just gonna go for it, as you said.
Yeah. Well, it's great. And that's the way you get to know people as musicians, like your bandmates, right? Of what they're going to do. And you start to know how, maybe when the drummer goes into a role or a certain type of a role, you know that he wants to end the song. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I always tell younger musicians. Don't worry so much about, learning all kinds of different songs. Get into a room with people. Get in a room and just, play. Just go, hey, I've got this, and next thing you know, you guys are going to be writing songs together, because you've come up with ideas and certain grooves, and you guys are going to start digging each other a hell of a lot more. Sorry, I'm shaking here. Crazy Gary's on the coffee table. He is. All 26 pounds of him. Yeah. So that's the thing. You know what I mean? That's what I love. I always love jamming. It's like, okay, you want to, we'll do 2 or 3 songs before we go. Like, we'll learn a couple of songs. What do you want to do? Da da da. Let's see how we do this, and let's see how we do that. That's fine, but jamming is where it's at, man. So Flea, definitely.
All right, number 3 now. Who would be number 3?
Whoa, Rudy Sarzo. And why I love Rudy is I've been, I don't know, I loved him with Whitesnake, and I loved him with Ozzy, and especially with Ozzy. And again, not a huge Ozzy fan, but you got him, you got Tommy Aldridge, and it was just like magic. And I think when I was a little bit younger, I think I almost like tried to emulate Rudy, and in the rock and the metal thing, and everything he does, I just really dug. So yeah, Rudy Sarzo. And honorable mention,
Go for it.
Tony Franklin, the Fretless Monster. Tony Franklin, he played with the Firm, and he's a fretless bass player. Excuse me. And great guy, great personality, fantastic bass player. Absolutely. I need to do more fretless bass stuff myself, and I should be looking at him a little bit more on that to be my teacher. Definitely.
And for anyone not familiar, what is the fretless style of bass playing?
Well, it's got no frets, so there's no markers. All your strings are open. All you got to make sure that your hand are in the right place, on the strings, on the neck, right time, and it's totally different monster. Definitely totally different monster than a regular, like this, like a fretted bass. Totally.
It's like driving without a map, pretty much. Like
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's like driving without a steering wheel. Like I'll be playing something, it's like I get farther up the neck, and I have no markers on my, like, even the top, like usually you have top markers, and on my Warwick bass I have no top markers. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my guitar tech take a look at it, read, when I restring the bass, I'll do the intonation, get it all set up again, and I'll say, okay, now let's put in, the fret markers, so at least I know where I'm going, But I've recorded with before. It hasn't been too bad, but I need more work. I definitely, on fretless, I need more work.
It's a unique style, and it's just everyone who can do it, I'm always impressed, just because that's just a style, man. Like, you just already know where you have to go, and you do it perfectly. It is very incredible.
It is, and he does it amazing. Tony Franklin does it amazing. I mean, he does doing vocal lines on his bass neck. I'm like, maybe if I get fret markers, I get a little bit better. I'll work on that. I'm gonna work on that.
Yeah, that's like no net. That is like zero room for error when you do stuff like you have fretless style. There's like no room for error.
Oh yeah, and you always start off. I always found that when I was talking to other bass players about playing fretless bass, they always say, yeah, like I learned slow. I started with slow songs, or mid-tempo songs, like Bad Company or whatever, And it's like, that's what I started doing when I picked it up. I had no ambition to play fretless bass. But then one day I'm thinking, you're a session bass player. You should be playing fretless bass. So I went out and I bought one, and I tried it at the store, and it was pretty cool. And I thought, okay, it needs some work. Like, I'm not bad at it, Matthew,
No, I
but
gotcha.
yeah, but it's like, I should pay more attention to it. I really, really should, and I will definitely.
I mean, there's definitely an art to it. There is for
Oh
sure an
yeah,
art to it.
yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right.
All right, so we're talking about some of your favorite bassists. Now, I got an interesting question. So, what's some of your favorite vocalists you worked with? Like when you
Ah,
hear the track, because I know we talked about drummers last interview, so now I'm talking about
yeah.
flipping it to the singers now.
A little bit of singers. Wow. Um, one of my favorite vocalists that I recorded with uh, was a dude named Henning Basie, and he's out of Germany. He played with in a band called Firewind with Gus G, who's ex-guitar player for Ozzy, and it was during the Hollander project with Glenn Poland, Glenn Drover, and his brother Sean. And Henning was doing vocals, and he just blew me away. I mean, that's another album where I didn't get vocals on when I was doing the bass tracks. It was just guitar, bass, drums, but it was heavy. Like, it was, and that album, the first album, is fantastic. It's an amazing album. But Henning, versatile, uh, one of my probably top 10 vocalists, even though he had people in that I haven't worked with, he's going to be in that top 10. Another guy, Danko Jones.
I was waiting for you to talk about him.
Yeah, Danko Jones. He can go from 1 to 125 in 1/16th of a second. The guy is an amazing vocalist, amazing musician. Um, he's I don't know. I'd like to do a little more work with him, to tell you the truth. Like and he's my homeboy too. He is Toronto, and I mean the guy is just like, he has a style, but you can tell, it's got that like a punk element to it, that rock element to it, that metal, and he just blows me every time his mouth opens. I just stop what I'm doing. Definitely,
And
definitely.
some of the stuff he does is like just so unpredictable. He could be going, at a good rip, and they'll just throw something completely out of nowhere. It's
Oh
very
yeah, and I think that's what he's got a real cool punk background, like so. The Queen Street West thing going on. I know you wouldn't know about that, but
a little bit before my time.
yeah. Well, you know what? He's got that thing going on, and he's just an amazing musician. And you know what? Too, he's a really nice guy as well. He's really level-headed, nice guy. I mean, the type of guy where, if you knocked on my door even now, I'd say, I'll put on a mask. Come in. Let's go. Sit down. Let me make your coffee, kind of deal. Great guy. And third,
Yeah, we'll go number 3. Yes.
Steph Hond, Hollywood Monsters.
Yes.
I just found everything that he did, like he's got the David Coverdale thing going on. He's got the David Bowie thing going on, and everything in between. Great songwriter, great guy, very talented, multi-instrumentalist. I found myself really, really comfortable with everything he did vocally. It's like he never asked me to, redo stuff on bass. I don't think because he had to, and I wouldn't ask him to redo vocals or a backup vocal on something because he didn't have to. Everything came in an amazing, and again, an amazing talent, an amazing guy. Steph Hahn for sure. Yeah.
No. Yeah.
And
Yes.
Honorable mention?
Yeah, I was about to go there. Let's go.
Okay. My first band, Troy Jenkins, Jinxie. I played in a band, Prophecy, with him. He was doing Pearl Jam before Pearl Jam. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, kind of that kind of alternative grunge sound. Yeah.
yeah, man, he was doing it even back then. And, he could switch back and forth to metal. He could do anything. And it was funny because high school in a band with him, and then later on, a friend of mine, Michael Ragusa, he's from Sacramento, California. Actually, he's from the Bronx, moved to Sacramento, California, and married a friend of mine here in Toronto. And we were talking one day, and he says, "Oh man, I went out to see this band last night. The vocalist is really good." And we're talking, like 2005 maybe, when this is going on. And I said, "Yeah." I said, "What's the name of the band?" I can't remember what my vocalist the name of the band was anyway. And I said, "Yeah, I know." I said, "I've known that vocalist. He's a good friend of mine. I've known him since I was like 4 years old." And he said, "Get him." Think about starting a band, right? He says, "Get him. We need him." So it was cool because, writing and recording with those guys. I mean, they got another bass player to play live and stuff, but started recording with them. And Michael Ragusa was fantastic guitar player and songwriter. In fact, he was in a band, Sacramento, Barking with Flies. And I can't remember his bass player's name, but he was now in Barking Rain and I think Y&T before that. So it's like really cool, like he came up from, some good ties too. But Troy Jenkins, fantastic vocalist. So big shout out to him, definitely.
You've listened to some really incredible ones, and the Hollywood Monsters. Just jump back to them real quick. The music it sounds just solid. Like there's really, it's all quality. And, I kind of said this before on the last interview, but it just has a chemistry to it. I think that's the best way to put it for that album.
Yeah, thank you. And you know what, too? It's not polished perfect. And that's what I liked about Thriving on Chaos. Excuse me, that wasn't overproduced. Like didn't sound like a metal album. It was like it has had its wide open gaps, and it had could we throw another guitar in here? Yeah, but why? Or another vocal line or another, but no, I'm very proud of that, and I had a really, really good time helping out with that album for sure with Hollywood Monsters. I really did. I really did.
Yeah, and as you said, like it's not like super squeaky clean that it all just sounds so clean that you kind of lose the soul of the song and album.
Yeah, yeah, no. I mean, we're not having a producer sit behind, Pro Tools and saying, okay, everything's got to stop here. Everything's got, there's a little guitar squeak here. There's a little, you know what I mean? It's not, and that's what I love about it because that's real. A lot
Yes.
of bands, it's got to be, bang, 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 bang. Their tunes have to be a certain way. They have to sound a certain way. I don't think we gainstate. I don't think we reference the bass and the kick drum throughout the whole product. Like, I mean, everything just worked, On an engineer or producing standpoint, there's certain things that you do that weren't done in this album. It was like perfect. To me, it's perfect, And a
Yeah.
lot of people feel the same way. A lot of people go, that's real. You guys sound real, And of course, Vinny Appice on drums, for the majority, Fred Mika on drums and Alex Von Craven, and just a whole host of all kinds of great musicians on that one. Definitely,
Yeah, it's just if anyone hasn't listened to Thriving on Chaos by Hollywood Monsters, treat yourself, listen to it, and kind of just say like because it has its slight imperfect. I'm not saying it's bad to have imperfections because like I feel like a lot of music, especially kind of nowadays, it all sounds kind of the same because it has like the same kind of production to it. And
Yeah,
it's different with this album.
yeah. Everything sounds polished to me. You know what I mean? It just sounds like cookie cutter. I mean, sometimes cookie cutter is great. Like But again, we're not in the same room. We're not in, the same country, and
Yeah.
we're pulling this off, And I don't know. I'm really proud, really, really proud of that album. I really am.
Yeah, definitely check out Thrive on Chaos. But I'm talking with session bassist Ronnie Robson out of Toronto, Canada. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on the Super Cool Radio again for the second time. Always a great time chatting with you. I'm glad you put on pants for this interview, making progress.
And socks.
And socks. Can't forget the socks.
I don't know what's going on.
I don't know either, but I'm glad you're here with me. Also,
me too.
Also, a quick shout out to promoter Christina Villa.
Please. Possible. I was just ready to do that. We got to, my East Coast promoter, we got to send out great vibes to her and a quick hello and say thank you very much. We love you. Definitely. Right. And Matthew, always a pleasure talking to you. Always.
Quick hello to Christina in Connecticut. Thank you so much for all the great work you do. But I got one more thing before we go, Ronnie. It is now 2021. What are your plans for this year? I asked you last year, but now it is 2021.
Okay. Do a bunch of podcasts, Rhythm Section Rockcast. Get my website out. Write some more songs. Work with more people. You know what? Hopefully by the end of this year, tour. Be out touring.
That all sounds incredible. Talk to some ducks along the way.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. Try to hold them, run after them, definitely.
So when the website's up, make sure to check out RonnieRobson.com. Check out the book he's also featured in as well, because it's really incredible.
Titans of Bass, yeah, that's really cool. I can't wait to see it myself. Are you kidding? That's amazing. But always a pleasure, Matthew, and I appreciate your time. Talking to me. That's fantastic. I love it.
I always love chatting with you. It's always something unexpected, like talking to ducks or not wearing pants or wearing pants with socks. Always unexpected.
Or shoveling snow in flip-flops at -20.
Yes.
Hey.
It hasn't got that cold in Indiana, and I am thankful. It got to -40, I think last like January. It was or February, -40 actual temperature.
Geez. Yeah, that's no good.
I was outside. I had outside work pulling in cars. I was like, this is awful.
I don't think we even got to -40 or -35 last year in Toronto.
Really?
Yeah. No, we were lucky. We're supposed to get a colder winter this winter, but it's okay. I may put on socks and flip-flops.
Thank you so much, Canadian session bassist Ronnie Robson, for hanging out with Super Cool Radio Part 2.
Thank you very much, Matthew, and thank you, everybody, for watching.
And, of course, I am Matthew Thomas with Super Cool Radio. Thank you for watching.